The story begins with a boy named Andrew, who was a socialite with his alcoholic father Richard and sick mother, due to which he was often bullied in school, and apart from his cousin Mate, he also had no other friends. Richard also often beat Andrew unnecessarily, due to which Andrew bought a camera and started recording everything in it. While returning from school, Mate asked him to accompany him to a party, for which Andrew was not ready at first. But after repeated insistence by the mate, he finally agreed. After this, he went to the party with the mate, but as soon as he reached there, the mate left him alone, after which, to pass his time, Andrew started recording the party. And then his eyes fell on a blogger named Casey, who was recording the party just like him. Because both of them had cameras in their hands, they started talking immediately, but then the mate came there and took Casey with him. After which Andrew again started recording the party, but this time a man thought that perhaps Andrew was making a video of his girlfriend, and getting angry at this, he started abusing Andrew, after which Andrew got angry and left the party. He was sitting in the park cursing his life when Steve, the most famous boy of the school, came to meet him, and he wanted Andrew to go with him and his mate to a secret place with a camera, which they did for a while. Following Steve's advice, Andrews reached a place where there was a huge pit, and despite his fear, he went inside the pit with Steve and mate, where all three of them saw a strange glowing light. It fell on a stone, and as soon as they touched it, it changed its color, and as soon as this happened, all three of them suddenly started bleeding from their noses. A few weeks later, all three of them were playing baseball when Andrew saw the ball in his mind. In fact, after that night, all three of them had acquired the power to move things here and there with their minds. That day, they decided to go back to that pit, but till then the police. After completely closing that pit, he also used his powers to play pranks on people, and with time, Mate realized that his powers were just like the muscles of the body and he could use his powers. After this, the three of them went to the supermarket to have fun, where they secretly disturbed a lot of people. After which, the three of them went to a restaurant where Andrew showed them how to use their powers. "You can also defend yourself," he said. After leaving the restaurant, Steve also wanted to use his power, and that is why he picked up the car of an unknown woman and parked it at another place. Seeing this, all three of them were very happy because, till date, it was the heaviest thing that they had lifted. After having fun the whole day, when all three of them were going back home, suddenly a car started harassing them by repeatedly honking from behind. Andrew got angry and tried to teach that car a lesson, but as soon as he used his powers on the car, it fell straight into a pond. Seeing this, all three of them immediately ran towards the pond, where Steve took out the driver of the car in time, after which he told the police about this accident. After this accident, Matt was very angry with Andrew, and he suggested that he should make some laws for the use of his powers, after which he decided that he would never use his powers on any living thing. "Will not use magic," he affirmed. After a few days, Steve called Andrew and Matt to meet at a place, where after reaching there, they saw that Steve was flying in the air with the help of his powers. Seeing this, both of them were very surprised. When Matt tried to fly in the air, he fell straight on the ground, but Andrew very carefully managed to fly like Steve. After working hard for the next few days, all three friends became completely adept in the art of flying in the sky. And one day when he was playing football in the sky, an airplane passed very close to him, due to which Steve lost his balance and started falling rapidly, but then Andrew showed wisdom at the right time and landed in the middle of the sky. I caught hold of him, but in all this he himself fell on the ground, but luckily none of them got hurt. The next day, after completing their graduation, they decided to fly around the whole world, on which Andrew told that he wanted to go to Tibet. Actually, he liked the peace of Tibet very much, and with the help of his powers now, he wanted to experience it. After school, Mate went to meet Casey on the pretext of some work, and after finishing the work, he met Casey. Casey asked her if she would like to hang out with him, but Casey did not answer and closed the door on his face. Andrew told Steve about his loneliness and how he was alone before getting his powers. After listening to everything, Steve suggested him to take part in the upcoming talent show, with the help of which he can become famous in the whole school. A few days later, in the talent show, Steve and Andrew showed many tricks with the help of their powers, which everyone in the audience liked very much. That same night, Steve and Matt took Andrew to a party, where everyone welcomed him very well. Andrew was not feeling alone for the first time. and that is probably why he felt very excited at the party. He was having a lot of fun, and in the middle of the party, he met a girl named Monica, and they both very soon became friends with each other. After which they both went to a room, but due to being too drunk, Andrew vomited on Monica, after which she immediately went out. Meanwhile, at the party, Casey arrived to meet her friend and asked her to go to her house, for which she immediately agreed. After some time, Steve, Andrew, searching for him, he reached the room where Andrew was sitting without clothes, and seeing him in such a condition, Steve also made fun of him. The next day, Andrew was using his powers on a spider when he heard his mother screaming. And when he went to his room, Richard started searching his room from behind, in which he noticed Andrew's camera. After which, he called Andrew and started beating him, but this time Andrew also responded by using his powers. With help, he picked up his father and threw him on the ground, after which he immediately ran out of the house. After running away from the house, Andrew started crying in the sky in the middle of a storm. At that time, Matt was spending his happy moments with Casey, but then suddenly, his nose started bleeding and Steve's nose was also bleeding, and that is why he flew straight to Andrew, but suddenly lightning struck Steve, due to which he died on the spot. Next day at school, all the children came to Steve's funeral, after which Matt went straight to Andrew and asked Andrew to tell him the truth about what happened, but Andrew said that he did not know anything about it. But after a while, he came back to Steve's grave and apologized one last time to his friend for not listening to him. The next day when Andrew reached school, everyone was making fun of him because of the incident at the party, but now Andrew was not as listening as before, and he, with the help of Shakti, pulled out a boy's tooth, which frightened all the children. The same evening, Matt went to Andrew's house to explain to him about the fight that took place in the school, but Andrew was not ready to listen to him. Their argument escalated to such an extent. The next day, when Andrew went to a chemist's shop to buy medicine for his mother, he saw that all the medicines were very expensive and he did not even have enough money to buy the medicines. For the next few days, he kept looking for different ways to earn money, and one day he became so angry that he decided to rob people. For this, he used his father's firefighter suit. First, he robbed the gang, but still the money was not complete, and hence he went to a shop where with the help of his powers he put all the money in his bag, but as soon as he came out of the shopkeeper took out his gun to stop him, but before he could fire, Andrew turned the gun towards a cylinder, due to which his bullet went straight into the cylinder, causing a huge gas leak. After this accident, Andrew was admitted to a hospital where he was in police custody. After some time, Richard also came to meet him, who told him crying that his mother died while searching for him for many days, and Richard, according to him, there is no one else responsible for his death but Andrew himself. As soon as Richard started getting angry at Andrew came to his senses, and in anger he broke the wall of the hospital, due to which Richard also got badly injured. Was at a birthday party and suddenly, his nose started bleeding, seeing which, he understood that Andrew was very angry, and also, his eyes fell on the news of the explosion in the hospital. Mate immediately went with Casey towards the hospital. On reaching where he ran, he saw that Andrew was holding Richard in the air, and very soon, he was going to throw him down. Mate immediately flew into the air and saved Richard first, and seeing his power, all the people standing there were surprised. Later, he went to pacify his friend, who by that time had started wreaking havoc in the entire city. Mate repeatedly tried to stop Andrew, but he was not ready to listen to anything. Today, Andrew expressed his concern to the whole world. He wanted to take revenge for his bad life. After this, a fierce fight started between them, after which they vandalized many buildings and offices. While fighting, they reached a place where the police surrounded them from all sides, but as if when the police fired at him, Andrew stopped all the bullets in the air. His anger was so dangerous that with one of his screams, the glasses of all the vehicles and buildings started breaking. Mate knew that now no one can stop Andrew, and that is why he forced the spear of a nearby statue to cross Andrew's chest with the help of his power, after which there was silence everywhere for 2 minutes, and as soon as the police moved forward to arrest Mate, he stood there. After some time, Mate flew over the snowy mountains and reached Tibet, where Andrew had always wanted to come. After this, he placed Andrew's camera there and apologized to Andrew for everything. Also, he used his powers only to kill people. So, what did you think of this movie? Leave it in the comments below. And if you like the video, Like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you next time.